Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Make It Epic Wedding Podcast. And you are with Matt and Tim. G'day, mate. How are ya? What's happening?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. There's been a bit happening. We've had a little bit of time off from each other. Usually we're doing a couple of weddings a week together. We get to see each other quite a fair bit on weddings and on here. But yeah, I think we've had a couple of weeks apart, mate. We had your sister's wedding 2 weeks ago, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Renee and Tim, special shout out. They were absolute legends. They were amazing. You doing MC was you did all right, mate.
If you would like to hire me as MC, please reach out. I will do a special offer for you for the next 6 days.
Photo and MC.
Yeah, I reckon I could do it, eh? Because I've only got to stand up there for a few seconds and then I can sit back down again. And no one needs photos of the MC. So, let me know. Special offer.
Why not, mate? Why not?
Why not? Mate, it has been a wild time though, hasn't it? Like, I feel like we've been doing a fair bit behind the scenes with the whole Make It Epic world. Not only with our own personal businesses, it's been wild, but yeah, with Make It Epic too. And we've been trying to change a lot of things and just improve the overall, I guess, value that you guys are getting out there, whether you're a vendor, whether you're a couple, no matter what. We're hoping that you are seeing what we are doing because, yeah, it's been a bit of effort lately, but it's been amazing.
Well, the last couple of weeks, I think you guys have been getting an absolute treat with the guests that we have got on board, and it's really shown a light on the power of community and what we are doing and the value that we are providing, to couples and vendors alike. And mate, we're getting some good feedback, and it gives us a little bit of a boost to keep on going, and gives us some good encouragement that we're on the right track. We're definitely on the right track here.
100%. And if you listen to the last 2 weeks of the goodness and the amazing Mr. Rick Liston from Wedding Workflows, you would have seen, there's a lot of value out there for, I guess, not just you couples that have been listening for probably the last however many episodes we've been doing, but, as well as for vendors as well. There's the vendor world is a crazy world. And, we're coming just out of our peak season of wedding photography and, well, not wedding photography, just weddings in general, and it's a wild time and, we can't all do it ourselves. So if you haven't listened to the last 2 weeks, of Rick's amazing episodes, I definitely would be going back and having a listen because the content, the golden nuggets that he's dropping is just amazing. And just him as a person and the way that he, approaches life is just really, really refreshing.
Yeah, for sure. And as a wedding vendor, we know what it's like. These seasons control our life, and especially those that have such a passion in it. It's hard to let go of certain things. But really the key to getting through, and especially the secret sauce for us, to do the things that we do and to continue to show up with the passion and the excitement that we do every week, in our work, in our business, and in our family, utilizing these systems and these processes and having these implemented within your business, just give you that time and give you that freedom back to make decisions, to move the needle forward in your business, to do things with your family, to do things that you want to do. And mate, I always say, if you are not 100%, then you cannot give 100%. So looking after yourself first allows you to look after your business, look after your family, and look after the things that you want to do. So as a wedding vendor, check it out. It is absolutely amazing. Rick is just, yeah, he's an absolute legend, and he's just one of those guys that's really pushing the industry forward. And that's what we love, and that's why we brought him on the podcast. Not just because I'm a client of his, but because he's changing how wedding vendors and vendors in general should be operating. And with all the million tasks that we do, it's crazy to think that we can do it all. It really is. Burnout City is just around the corner, and we know too many vendors that are burning out, and it impacts their work, their life, themselves in general. So it's really a benefit to the whole community. So check it out.
Love it. Such a good episode. And, we definitely have learnt a lot, from then. And I feel like, Wedding Workflows will probably be helping Make It Epic Wedding podcast out a little bit over the coming months, which is exciting because,
Maybe.
little hint there. They might be helping out Matt Asher Photography as well. So, look, it's an exciting time. And, coming into winter, Tim, it's a good time for us wedding vendors, because it does quieten down a little bit. It doesn't really... for me, it's kind of like, I don't know, rather than shooting 2 or 3 weddings, I'm only shooting maybe 1 a week, which is exciting. But it really gives me time and space to be able to, I guess, improve the back end of my business and improve things, implement new things, which, the VA will be coming on hopefully soon, which is exciting. And there's a lot going on in the back end for winter, which is... I guess I've been longing for, to be honest. This past few months has been hectic. We obviously in the wedding world love it when it's busy, and we love it, the wedding season, but we also get really excited for the winter months because it does quieten down that little bit.
Yeah. And this is a thing across the board, right? With all wedding vendors, we have the busy wedding season, and then off peak is when we do the changes to our business. But what if we can incrementally work on our business and move the needle for the things that we do need to do throughout the year, right? And that's something that I have probably focused on for the last 12 months, and it's crazy, man. It's just amazing, how much structure and freedom you can get back once you really implement some systems that happen within your business that are automatically happening, when you don't have to figure out what to post every day, when you can plan ahead, when you've got someone that's looking after some of those those mundane tasks, which really gives you that structure and freedom back.
It's exciting, isn't it? And, I feel like we probably should, I don't know where I was going with that, so I'm just going to have to stuff that again.
So, if you haven't already seen, there's been a couple of changes that are happening to the Make It Epic Wedding podcast, and
just a couple,
just a few. And I feel like the last couple of weeks there's been a lot going on with what we've been doing. And if you haven't noticed already, we have had a rebrand.
Ew.
Where's the... Hang on, let me get
Tim's
it.
Tim's got a... Oh, he was not prepared for this. Are we ready? Awkward silence. Music will play. And we'll start that again. We've had a...
Rebrand!
That was terrible. We're going to lose so many listeners because of that.
Rebrand!
Wow. If hopefully if you're listening out there and you just heard Tim getting excited.
All right, settle down. All right, I know everyone's really happy about that.
Well, that's a lot. That clock goes for a real long time.
Sorry, that goes for another 30 seconds.
Wow, we've lost the plot. But anyway, yes, if you haven't heard or you haven't seen our Instagram or our socials, yes, we have had a rebrand. And we thought we'd jump on today and maybe just talk a little bit about, why Make It Epic, why we had a rebrand, and how we got to this point. Because, you know what, Tim? We've been over 30 episodes so far, which is wild to think. When we first started, we were kind of like, let's just do this for a bit of fun. Let's just have a bit of an outlet. Let's just jump on, have a chin wag, and see what happens. And lo and behold, 30-something episodes later, here we are, and things are getting serious.
Yeah, it's bloody crazy. It is absolutely crazy. And when you think about it, it's some crazy stats, right? Sorry. Let me rephrase. So when you think about it, it's absolutely crazy. It's about 70% of new podcasts that start. Where am I going with this? Absolutely crazy.
We're back to episode 1 vibes, right? Sorry, John.
Sorry, John. All right, so it's absolutely crazy, right? So 70% of podcasts that actually start do not make it past 10 episodes.
Wild.
Doesn't that blow your mind?
It's crazy, and we're triple that, so that means we should be going all right.
Yeah, we should be going all right. Look, for me, the biggest thing is the feedback that we are getting, and we're seeing a real life impact from what we're doing in the podcast and the message that we're sharing. So that has been the biggest motivator, the absolutely biggest motivator for myself. And it's just crazy to
100%.
see how much it's changed. You know, like as the podcast is growing, like it's evolving. We're evolving with it. Like if you compare it to our first few episodes, oh mate, like we could not talk for like I don't know. I think the nerves just like got to us.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, it's crazy to think like now, like I'm getting like, you know, people reaching out to us and they're like, oh, like we listen to your episode every week and we're so excited when it comes out. Like, man, it gives me, I don't know, like tingles. Like it's pretty damn cool. Like, you know, because when we first started, as we said, like we were kind of like, you know, let's just start this thing. Let's call it Make It Epic and let's just chat about why we do things the way we do things and let's just see where it goes. And to be completely honest, each week we'd turn up and we'd be like, what are we going to talk about today? You know, and that's pretty much it, right? Not that it probably doesn't still happen now, but hopefully there's a little bit more structure to it. And maybe we'll just wear a little bit more confident in the way that we're presenting, I guess, our thoughts. And, you know, it is a pretty cool situation that we've landed ourselves in, Tim.
Yeah, definitely. And like, let's have a chat. Oh, excuse me.
We're going well today.
Sorry. All right, let's have a chat, mate, about why we started in the first place. Right? We knew, I think from our experience in the industry, that we both had a message to share, and we would chat, mate, every week, and we just like go through and just like chat about how we could do things better, how we could make things more personal, and how we could effectively bring a better service to our couples, but also raise the standard for the industry as a whole. And it's something that we spoke about for months. I think we were planning the podcast for 6 months at least.
We were talking about it. I don't know if we were planning it. Planning sounds like we were all on top of it, but we were, you know, like we definitely were talking about it for a long time. And, you know, like the wedding world and as a vendor, it's a lonely world, you know, like, you know, each week we're shooting, we're having a good time on the weekends shooting stuff, but we're not necessarily making connections with people throughout the week. And, you know, like for me, I came home, I'd sit on my computer, I'd stare at my computer screen and edit and do back end of business, but I didn't have anywhere that I could maybe get my like thoughts out of my brain and, you know, have a bit of a chat to somebody about it. And that's where we started talking a lot more, Tim, and realized that, you know, we get along all right. Maybe we could share this info with some other people. And you know what? I just feel like out of all of this, it's created such a great, like, I don't know, like community, as you said. Like, you know, it's amazing to see the people that have been reaching out to us that, you know, not just like couples, but, you know, also other vendors and stuff who are just loving it. You know, the amount of, I guess, networking that we've done just because of Make It Epic has been amazing. You know, we've had people reach out to us on our Instagram who are just like, oh my goodness, you guys are like amazing. We love you guys just having a chat about whatever comes to your brains that day. You know, and I hope that at the end of the day, like the way that we provide this service to you guys is in a way that, you know, is listenable and is a bit different to every other podcast out there. You know, you get to hear us being absolute idiots at time, laughing at each other. We hope that, you know, at the end of the day, like you're getting a lot out of it as well.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like when you look at it for the fact that we started to like really bring that message across, and you know, I feel like we do things a little bit differently. Like we really try and like build that connection with our couples, so we can serve them better, so we can have a better end product. And I wholeheartedly believe that it's our process before the day that allows us to be who we are on the day and allows us to empower the couples to be who they are as well. And over time, like that's evolved as well. And we don't hide our secret sauce. Like we tell the world because we do want to raise the standard. And over the time, mate, like we did our own like branding per se. Like we just jumped on Canva. We're like, oh yeah, that looks pretty cool. Like let's pick up that.
Yeah, let's pick this color.
Let's
that
go
color.
with that.
That
Yeah,
looks
that
alright.
color looks alright.
Yeah.
And like we're both big on branding. Like we understand it. We know we need it. We understand like the connection and the emotion that branding can provide a business, that can provide like a feeling. And we felt like Make It Epic at that moment, really, it wasn't portraying the emotions that we want our audience to feel. Like it wasn't necessarily us. It wasn't who we wanted to be. And to be honest, we wanted something that is us. We wanted something that's unique to us. We wanted something that's fun, that's a bit funky, but also modern and clean, like and a touch of elegance, which is, you know, like ourselves individually, but also, you know, collectively what we want we want to bring those feelings to the podcast and to our audience as well.
Yeah, 100%. We need a bit of direction for sure, you know, because at the end of the day, like we could sit there, stare at Canva and try and work out what we wanted to do. But at the end of the day, we didn't really have any connection, any direction with what we were doing because we were just kind of winging it. We weren't loving the aesthetic of our Instagram and things like that either. So we just needed a few processes and plans in place to kind of just make it epic, so to speak, you know, and that's where I guess the branding part came along. And to be completely honest, Tim, I've and I don't know about you, but I've never been through a branding process before because Matt Ashton Photography started so bloody long ago that I've just kind of like stuck with this crappy old logo that I've had for about 8 years, and then ever since then I've kind of just like done my own thing, and now I'm like seriously considering having to go back and do a full proper rebrand because, and not maybe not rebrand, but just fix up my branding in general because at the end of the day, like I didn't realize how amazing this service was and how much easier life can be once you have done a bit of rebranding and once you do have direction and once you do have like a plan in place of where you want to end up in terms of like, you know, just the design aspect of everything.
Yeah. 100%. And like I've been for a couple, like with a couple of different like businesses as well, and I feel like what we have received with the Make It Epic rebrand, and shout out to Brenna from Summerland Studio. She did an absolutely amazing job.
Legend.
It's like I'm blown away with how good and on point it was. And like Brenna is, you know, is someone that provided a very clear like service from the get-go, and she wanted to know what was important to us, and like just like we want to know like all the details of a couple before their wedding, like what's important to them, what's of value to them, like what's type of vibe that they're going through with their wedding. And Brenna has done the exact same thing as a brand identity and as a branding design studio. And like that made me very, very confident that we were going to get something that was completely us. And mate, did she hit the nail on the head? Shout out to Brenna.
Yeah, she absolutely. What are you doing? Why are you doing quiet? If obviously you guys are listening to this in the car, Tim like just like went really awkwardly silent and then like put his head really close to the computer screen and was trying to work out I was like, where the hell did this guy go? I was like, am I meant to say something right now? Anyway, Brenna, legend. She's outdone herself, and you know what? I feel like she made the process so bloody easy too. You know, like as you said, it was clear and concise, but it was just an easy process. So yeah, legend. Couldn't have done it without you, mate. It was awesome process. But, you know, like, yeah, I feel like we probably should as well, like, maybe just for a minute, Tim, let's just break down Make It Epic. Let's break down why we called it Make It Epic. And I guess the main word in Make It Epic is epic, right? And when it comes to weddings, like, there's this, like...
verb in there, yep.
Thanks. English lesson with Tim 101.
Sorry, mate. That didn't mean to come across rude.
It's fine. You're a witch. Anyway, but yeah, like we use the word epic a lot, right? But for us, epic is not epic in what everybody else may think epic is, which most people I feel like kind of think that epic is like, you know, like wild and crazy and big party vibes and just like next level. It is next level, but it's not next level in a wild way for us, you know, like epic for us is definitely a different term, and it can be epic, I guess, in your own right way.
That's right. Like we use the term epic as a subjective term, because every wedding can be epic, every couple can be epic, but we want to make it epic for you. We want to allow you and give you the confidence, the skills and the knowledge and the know-how for you to make better decisions and make your wedding your way, uniquely you, and to make it epic. So that was really the thought process around it.
100%. Yeah, I was just Googling. I went silent then for a second because I was just trying to Google what epic meant. But they're a little bit strange, the answers to it, to be honest. But there's a a few things saying like heroic legendary adventures, which like I was like, yes, I am all about that. You know, like at the end of the day, like like if we're using the word epic, like at the end of the day, it is an adventure. You know, like, and whatever that adventure looks like for you guys, like whether it's crazy, wild party vibes, which I do think we sometimes tend to portray more, because that's when we have the most fun, typically, and we talk about those moments a lot, and we don't always talk about the moments which are maybe a little bit more laid back and relaxed and a little bit more subdued, but very much you guys as a couple, you know, and those moments for us are still epic because they're some of the moments that I feel like are the most special moments too for me, personally. Like whenever I get to capture like couples being very much like in the element of themselves and whatever that looks like to them. So whether that's standing on a cliff top and, you know, like maybe talking and having their vows together, like for me, that's a bloody epic moment because I'm like, it's unique.
Yeah, 100%. But like, I know we can sometimes portray that, but we also talk about like the importance of, you know, some time alone, doing things with just you two away from the cameras to have that moment. And like, it's important not to underestimate the importance of silence as well. And that's what we're trying to bring as well. We're trying to take our clients, our couples, like through this journey where we can understand who they are, we can understand what's best for them, maybe hold their hand, maybe help guide them. Like I know over time, like I've like implemented it and then built some guides like within the business, and you know, put some emails into place and just like build that communication to be like, hey, you know, are you guys doing personal vows? Like do you need some help with that? Potentially, like, do you understand like how good vows would be like for your like video? And you know, maybe if you're afraid to or a bit scared to do it during the ceremony, maybe there's a time that we can do that later on in the day at sunset by yourself, like no one around, like, and it's just empowering like couples to be able to realize that they are the controller of what they do. You know, they can make these decisions that are in line with their vision and their values. And it's a message we continually try and, you know, portray like out to our audience, and something we try to like empower within vendors as well, to like, maybe this is something that you could do like to your couples as well and help elevate like their experience with you.
100%. And I feel like that's what like the podcast probably has allowed for us. You know, it's allowed a platform for us to discuss these things and for people to hear these things and for them to feel comfortable to approach us as well. Like, you know, like it's definitely something that's opened up some doors that I probably wasn't expecting to kind of really have opened, if that makes sense. You know, the amount of people that come and reach out to us now that like just want to have a chat because of something they've heard on the podcast, you know, is awesome. P.S. If you can hear my child screaming in the background, I'm very sorry. Anyway, little side note there. But yeah, so I don't know, like I've been loving the direction that we've been going in. I've been loving the rebrand. I'm really excited by the rebrand too, because the opportunities are endless. And you know, Make It Epic has really evolved from day one, which really wasn't that long ago, Tim, you know?
It wasn't. It was maybe 6 months ago now that we started those poor episodes. Oh my God, 1 and 2. I had a friend of mine, a young videographer in the industry that's just starting to find his feet. He's doing extremely well. Shout out to Ben there. And he's like, oh, I've started listening to the podcast and I started from episode 1, and like I'm just like, oh no, please. Just,
you know what's wild? Like, you know what's wild is that episode 1, obviously because it is the first episode, has like the most listens by far. And I'm like, every time like people start, I'm like, I wonder how many people like just drop off after episode 1 and 2 and never listen to us again. Like, you know, especially now that our rebrand and like our logo on there looks so much better than like what it used to. I'm like, maybe that'll keep people interested and know that things get better. Maybe we should re-record that and just like start being like, we promise you that things are going to get better from here. And then just like let the old episode play.
Please start from episode 6,
22.
But mate, as the podcast has evolved, like we've really both felt comfortable in also growing this sense of community as well. And you know, it's been a byproduct of, I think, just us being absolute pelicans, and also from, you know, the message that we're trying to share. But the community aspect is something that I'm feeling so like incredibly grateful for, and it's something that I want to keep pursuing. It's something I want to keep growing as well.
100%. And I feel like we're always questioning, or having the conversation, maybe not questioning, but always having the conversation with each other of like, where to next for Make It Epic? How do we improve maybe the podcast? How do we improve the community? How do we, what is it that we can do with Make It Epic wedding podcast to make it better for everybody involved? So, it's a continuing discussion we're going to have. And if you guys have any ideas out there, maybe it's a bit of a community event, that we organize or something like that for vendors or even for couples or for all of the above, whatever that looks like. If there's any ideas out there and you've made it this far through to our rambling chat today, and you're like, I have something that you guys should do, reach out to us on social media. Make It Epic podcast is our social media. We would love to hear from you guys because, at the end of the day, like we're doing this week in and week out to hopefully help you guys get a little bit more out of, I guess, your wedding experience, or if you're a vendor, just to improve everything that you do.
Yeah, 100%. And like we want to bring the power of sharing our message to help raise the standard within the wedding industry, to help build community of positivity and just doing things against the grain, making things epic in your way. And our rebrand is something that we're incredibly proud of, and we feel like it allows us to connect to our audience better. It's more representative of us, and it's an identity that's just allows us to like share our message, our values, and what we want to offer like to the community, to our audience as well. So I'm super, super happy with it. And I feel like it's now given us like that platform to be able to, like reach a little bit further and help us raise that baseline so we can keep improving.
Definitely. And I think we'll definitely getting Brenna on, at some point in the future, because she definitely helped us, find out our identity when we had no idea what the identity really was on paper, if that makes sense. So, we're definitely keen for that.
How about that reel she posted, man? Like, I'm just like, yeah, she's good. Like, she's really good. So
Tim's frothing on it.
Brenna posted this reel, and it just showed like a mood board. It showed like, like all the ideas that we were thinking before, like we actually started and engaged like Brenna services, and then like what it looked like afterwards. And it's just so amazing to see like that transition of, like before and then after. And, just the brand elements, the aspects of it, like, and it's not just the logo. Like we know branding is not a logo. Maybe we can dive more into like the branding elements. What is a brand, and how to like successfully like brand yourself, and what like brand identity actually includes with Brenna. I think she'd be the expert in the room to really discuss that.
Definitely. Yeah. And I think if you go and look at our socials, you will have seen by now the difference that it is, and the difference it's made in just having a direction, so which is exciting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, I'm like, I don't really know where, what else we can say about how awesome our rebrand is, because we are pretty excited by it.
We're really just like tooting our own horn here. Like, yeah, our rebrand's sick. Like, yes. Yeah.
And it's probably just going back to like episode 1 vibes, where we had no idea really what we were doing and don't really know what we were talking about. But it's been it's been a little while for us coming, as we said, and we're super excited by it all. And I think at the end of the day, like hopefully if you've got anything out of this episode, you've realized why Make It Epic is Make It Epic and what that means to us, and it gives you guys, I guess, a bit of an insight into me and Tim and the reasoning behind this podcast, because it is hard to come back each week. Without, I guess getting some feedback from you guys, and without, kind of knowing that it is beneficial to you all, because at the end of the day, me and Tim do have a family. We do have, our busy, I guess, own personal brands as well that are doing things in the meantime. And then we're also still backing up each week to continue to drop some golden nuggets and some good vibes for you guys to make sure that your wedding day, your experience is as amazing as possible, and really hopefully empower you guys to do the things the way that you want to do it.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Amazing. Well, Tim, I think we leave it there for this week, because we are going to ramble on about our branding for another half an hour.
If you haven't, don't want to hear that.
Not at all. And if you haven't seen it yet, please do go and check out our socials. And as always, we always want to hear from you guys. So please reach out, leave us a review on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to us. We would love to hear from you guys because it definitely does keep us going each week, as I said before. So, yeah.
Amazing. And before we go, mate, what irks Matt this week?
What irks me this week? Food, mate. If you are a caterer out there,
I know where this is going. And then now this is going to turn into a 45-minute podcast.
I just want bread, all right? If you're a caterer out there and you're feeding vendors, just give me some bread. Like, that's all I want. Actually, any food, really, in general. But I feel like, look, this is probably going to become a podcast in itself, and we're going to have to get a caterer on. But if you're a couple and you're, like, paying for a vendor meal, make sure your vendor gets the meal. It's not really up to you on the day, but maybe just push the point with your caterer. And if you're a caterer out there and you're listening, maybe just take care of the people that are going to promote you, going to recommend you. Think about that community. Think about feeding somebody. Because we work, especially as a photographer and a videographer, like we're there typically before lunch, and we're there leaving after dinner. So it would be nice to get one meal, and bread never goes astray, it's thick, dense,
Loves
fills the
carbs,
tummy.
Yeah.
That's what irks me this week.
Yeah, look, it's something that's, it does get on my nerves as well, especially the ones that are like, we have to wait till everyone is served before we serve you, and by the time you get served, it's then like speeches, so then I can't eat. And
something's happening.
Eat dinner after the dance floor, and it's cold and soggy and gross. Yeah. So,
and Tim loves lactose, so if you're out there and you're a caterer, make sure you give Tim extra cheese. That'd be great.
Oh, love cheese. Yeah, love cheese. Love milk. Love dairy. Yeah, give me all the dairy. All the dairy. Let's not ramble on here, but thanks again for listening, and we really, really appreciate you diving into this one and just having a general chat about our brand, our rebrand, why Make It Epic is what it is, and hopefully the direction that we continue to want to push, and what we want to do, and what we see the future of Make It Epic as well. And it's something Matt and I are very, very proud of, and we want to keep on elevating your experience. We want to keep on showing up and just bringing you some golden nuggets to help you with your wedding planning journey, but also help those vendors out there to help raise the standard within the industry as well. So we can't say any more about, what we're doing, because we're so passionate about this industry. That's been so good to us. We're so passionate about the work that we do, but we're also passionate about helping others to raise the standard as well. So thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.